Alright guys, welcome back to another draft analysis. I'm Ace and right now we're into game 2 of VG versus Newbee. So game 1 I mentioned VG had a slightly better draft. They had the Terrorblade and Newbee didn't have a really good answer for the Terrorblade. So come to the late game, which I think it did went quite late in that game. The Terrorblade was just pretty much unstoppable. And yeah, so Newbee was able to close it out and now into game 2. VG was able to close it out and now went to game 2 with VG leading 1-0. Okay, so in this game, VG have the first pick yet again. So it's either Newbee prioritize second pick or somehow VG is able to get first pick in both games. And Newbee, they decided to let the Undying through and ban the Winter Wyvern instead. The Winter Wyvern was quite a big problem on the side of VG last game, and so Newbee felt that it's more of a threat over the Undying. Decided to remove it. So naturally, Lanham, he likes this Undying a lot. He's gonna first pick it. And VG, they ban away the same 3 heroes, Night Stalker, Puck as well as Mirana. I think Mirana was banned in the second phase last game, but now they bring it to the first phase. Okay, so Newbee, they go for Kaka Senking, which is one of his favorite hero. His, I think, best hero by far, as well as the Faith Ancient Apparition. Ancient Apparition does decently well against Undying to prevent his heal. And it's just one of the stable Persian 5 hero that some Chinese teams still like to play, but I think it's mainly as an answer to this Undying. VG Gaming, they go back for the Omni Knight, which is very surprising considering you're not gonna be able to heal people when they get the Ice Blast debuff from Ancient Apparition. But that being said, I think VG Gaming is not really picking Omni Knight for the heal. He's very strong against the 2 leading supports of Newbee, Senking as well as AA. If he's cold fit by A, he can just prop his repel and he can just get out of any sorts of danger. He should be fine. And yeah, so I think it's one of 11's hero as well, and they are very comfortable with picking it for him here. Newbee, they ban away Anti-Mage as well as Dragon Knight, and VG ban away Monkey King as well as King of Pain. So all around it's just comfort bans in the second phase. So moving on, Newbee, they're going to have to pick a carry that probably can lane well against Omni Knight. They might go back for the Ursa here. Ursa is good against Undying Tombstone with his overpower, and he lanes decently well against Omni Knight. Or would they choose to maybe pick one of KP's hero here first? Something about Newbee is they like to wait for KP's hero, leaving it to the last few picks, just because I think he has quite a bit of versatility and they want to see what kind of initiating heroes they want to put him on, like whether they go back for the X or put him on the Senking in this case and switching Kaka into another hero. But I doubt so, because Kaka is just such a comfortable Senking player that they're just most likely going to put this hero on him. So instead they go for the Savan on Mugi. The high armor it's not really good against any of VG's heroes in terms of the Undying or Omni Knight, but it's just a very strong position 1 hero right now that you can really farm extremely fast with your cleave. That being said, this Omni Knight is not going to be punished in the lane though. I feel like he can get quite a bit out from his lane right now. In VG, they go for the position 4 Earthshaker on Lanham. I think Fenrir is going to play the Shaker and Lanham is going to play the Undying. Shaker is very good in the sense that he can kite Savan with his Fissure as well as like Chain Stun. The amount of magical damage is really... The magical burst from Earthshaker is a lot. It's really very heavy, and it's very good at busting down a very tanky hero like Savan. Savan is innately tanky because of his high armor, and the magical damage from Earthshaker actually doesn't really care about his high armor. So Newbee here, they probably will go for KP's hero, as I mentioned. They are not comfortable showing SEC's hero so early, so I think they should pick I think they can pick a bit of a space creating hero on KP, because with 7 you want to be like farming and taking stacks, but if your early game is not going well for you, it's very hard for you to have the space to do that. So they probably need some space creating hero for KP where he can create a space for Seven to farm up and get his probably 3 items like Mask of Madness, Blink Dagger, as well as S&Y maybe. So yeah, so they go for this Bat Rider on KP, which is quite a space creating hero. Once you get your Blink Dagger, if you can get it early, usually around the 10-15 minutes, and then you can make a lot of plays with it. You can pick off with AA Ice Blast, Insecting, ganking with you. You can make a lot of plays around the map and create this space where the 7 will need. It's also a very good offlaner against a Potion 4 Earthshaker, just because he's able to Firefly out of a Fissure block. Earthshaker relies a lot on his Fissure block in the early games to create gank opportunities, and Bat Rider is quite immune to that in the sense that he can just fly out of it. VG go back for the Outward Devourer, which was banned last game, and it's a very strong mid hero against Seven. Seven relies, I mentioned he relies a lot on his armor, and he's a hero with very low intel. So OD's ulti can actually do a lot against Seven. And also OD is a natural 4-staff carrier, which is yet another spell that is another item that is very good at kiting the Seven. And in the worst case where his teammate jumps, let's say Seven jump on one of his teammates, he can always Astral Imprisonment the target and kite out the Seven even more. So right now actually VG Gaming has a very strong lineup against this Seven core of Newbee. They have Outward Devourer, Astral Imprisonment, they have Earthshaker's Fissure, as well as Omni Knight's Ultimate, which are all very strong spells against Seven. And with respect to the Bat Rider's initiation, the OD can get a 4-staff or Blink, and then he can just Blink Astral the target that Bat Rider actually lassos, and that's another defensive spell that they have. So I know VG actually answers Newbee's draft pretty well here. So to the last pick, Newbee banned away the Weaver, which is another very elusive hero. It's a hero that lanes extremely well against Bat Rider, which is the main reason why they banned it here. They want KP's Bat Rider to have a decent lane in the off lane. And VG, they banned the Death Prophet, which is a very strong laner against OD, and it's just one of the Chinese comfort mid heroes. VG goes back for the Vengeful carry, which is, then again, it shows like how much they're prioritizing on this early game fighting and relying on OD to scale to the late game for their like late game insurance. And Vengeful is also a hero that has defensive capabilities against both Bat Riders as well as Seven. So when Bat Rider lassos someone, he can just nether swap defensively to save the target. Or if Seven is jumping on one of his teammates, there's so much kiting / saving potential on the side of VG. It's actually insane. Their lineup synergizes extremely well against whatever Newbee is bringing to them. And Newbee goes for the super greedy lineup on the Medusa. Okay, so Newbee's lineup is actually really greedy right now. They have the Seven and Medusa, both cores which rely a lot of farm. And VG on the other hand, they have very strong early game with the Omni Knight Undying if they go dual offlane. Vengeful is a solo core that can do well on its own, with probably occasional rotations from his support. And OD is definitely a very strong mid hero against Medusa as well. All in all, I think VG Gaming has a very strong early mid game, and as I mentioned, their hero is able to kite out Newbee very well. And since I feel that maybe Newbee feel like this event is getting countered pretty hard and they're gonna need another core hero that can scale to the late game, which is why they decide to go for this Medusa last pick. It looked really greedy, but it might actually work because if you look at VG's lineup, their pushing potential is not very heavy. They only have Vengeful as well as OD. They are not the best at sieging high ground. On the other hand, look at Newbee's high ground defense. They got Medusa, which is very strong with his Mystic Snake as well as Stone Gaze, and the potential of Bat Rider blinking in to pull off somebody out of position. With AA Ice Blast as well as Sand King, Newbee's high ground defense is actually really, really strong, and I feel that they might be able to get away with this greedy lineup. That being said, if VG actually shut down, win the early game, shut down the whole map from Newbee and shut them down into just their base alone, then there's not going to be enough space for Seven and Medusa to be farming the map. And if that's the case, Then VG can just play the starving game and scale their cost, like outfarm Newbee's lineup and be like 20k ahead in the 35-minute mark, and maybe they can take the Aegis cheese, the third Aegis cheese as well as the refresh shop, and try for like some high ground push. So all in all, I think it's a very even draft with different timing on both sides. VG need to make use of their early mid game timing, and Newbee need to try to survive that phase and push it to the late game where they will definitely the stronger team then. Okay, that's all for Games 2's draft analysis. Let me know what you think about this draft and leave it in the comments below. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.